Hey there, guys. Excuse me. We are going to do 5-6 today, which is percent change. So go ahead and get your notebook out, get your book out, get it labeled, and we will be all set to go. It's our last lesson in chapter 5, okay? And really, this is very, very similar to percent error. It's almost just a different way of saying the same formula. So the percent change formula is written there in your book on page 202, okay? I'm going to put the short version of it up here, okay? You're going to be looking at what's the amount of the change over the original amount. And this one's going to be a proportion. Okay? This one's going to be a proportion. Let me move it. Okay, that's a little. Okay, there we go. And that's going to equal the percent change over 100. Okay, so first thing, just get that in your notes. And when we do an example, you'll see, why that makes sense. Okay? All right, so let's look at example 1. All right. South Carolina had 6 seats in the U.S. House of Representation in the 2000s. After the 2010 census, South Carolina had 7 seats. Okay, find the percent increase in the number of representatives. So we will talk in class a little bit about why that works that way, like the history part there and how the government's set up, but I'm not going to spend the time on the video to do that. But so let's look at those numbers and try to get them in the formula. So the first thing in the formula is the amount of the change. Okay, so they started with 6 and they went to 7. So what change is that? Don't worry about if it's a positive or negative number. Just like that percent error formula, it's almost like it's absolute value. Okay, so 7 minus 6 is 1. So what the change was is 1. Now, the original amount does matter. You have to pick 6 or you have to pick 7, and it does matter which one you choose. Well, which did they say first in the problem? What did they start with? They started with 6. So 6 is my original amount. Okay, and of course we're looking for the percent change, so that's my x. And we know percent always goes over 100. So that's my proportion, okay? So that's going to be 6x equals 100. We're going to divide each side by 6, and that is going to give us 16.7%, okay? So that would be my answer there, all right? Okay, pause the video, try quick check 1, and then turn it back on. Okay, so for quick check 1, we have Georgia, which went from 13 to 14 representatives. Find the percent increase in the number of representatives. So there is 13 to 14, so the change is 1 over the original amount. The first number mentioned in the problem is 13. That's what they started with, is x over 100, which is going to give you 13x equals 100. Divide each side by 13, and you have x equaling 8%. Don't forget to put that percent on there for your labeling your answer, okay? All right, so now we move on. Example 2 is talking about markup, okay? And what markup means is, okay, let's say I am a purchaser for Walmart. I work for the company of Walmart. And I find these people that make these t-shirts, and I think, ooh, my customers are really gonna like those t-shirts, so I buy 1,000, they would buy more. I buy 1,000,000 t-shirts from this company, okay? Well, let's say I buy them for $2 a piece. Well, am I going to sell them at Walmart for $2 a piece? No, I'm going to sell them at Walmart for like $10, okay? Because I work for Walmart and Walmart needs to make money, okay? So that is markup. How much am I, as the company, going to buy the product for versus how much am I going to sell the product for? That is the markup, okay? So that's what we're talking about, but the formula is the same. Your book presents the markup formula as different. It's not. Don't worry about it. We're sticking with the same formula the whole time, okay? So we're still doing the amount of change over the original equals x over 100. So let's look at example 2, okay? An electronics store orders sets of walkie-talkies for $14.85 each. The store sells the sets each for $19.90. What is the percent markup? Okay, so the first thing we have to do is find that amount of change. Remember what I said, keep it positive. So just subtract whatever's larger minus whatever's smaller, okay? So the markup, well, the amount of change would be $5.05. So that's what goes on top, okay? Now the original amount, I said that's what comes first in the problem. So that's the $14.85 because that's what they purchased for. Okay, and then x over 100. Okay, so that's going to give me 505, oops, not x, sorry, 1485x equals 505. I'm sorry, my writing's a little small there. I'll try to make it bigger. So I'm going to divide each side by 1485. And that's going to give me a percent markup of 34%. Okay? For example, 2, 34%. So see, same process, okay? But this is how much I'm marking it up, okay? It's changed, still percent change. My price has changed by 34% because I'm increasing it by 34%. Okay, pause the video, try quick check 2, and then hop back on. Okay, so percent markup for 1795 headset marked up to 3579. Man, I do not have my calculator. Okay, sorry. I feel like I do this every time, guys. Sorry, but if I pause the recording, it just separates it into 2 separate videos, and that gets really weird. Okay, so my amount of change is going to be 3579 minus 1795, and that is 1784. So my amount of change is 1784. Here's the question: what goes on the bottom? Okay, what's the original? It's almost always the number that comes first. It is that 1795 number. Okay, so I have 1795x equals 1,784. I have to divide both by 1795, which is going to give me a markup of 99.4%. Now, oops, x equals 99.4%. What's that mean? It's almost 100%. So what's that telling us? That's telling us that they basically doubled what they paid for it. That's what they're going to sell it for. So let's round the numbers, or use compatible numbers. They bought it for about 17 bucks, and they're increasing the price by about 17 bucks when they sell it. So they're selling it for about 34 bucks. Okay? They basically doubled it when they were selling it. Okay, so that's why that percent increase is almost 100%. Okay, all right, so now we're going to go on to discounts. This is what you're going to be a little more familiar with. You go in the store and it's 30% off. The shirt's 50% off right now. All the winter clothes are on super big clearance. Okay, probably we're not really all going into a lot of stores, but if we were, that's what we would see. Okay, and again, the book tries to give you a different formula for discount. It's not. It's the same formula. Stick with the one I put on the board at the beginning. Okay, so let's look at example 3. During a clearance sale, a keyboard normally sells for $49.99. It is discounted to $34.99. What is the percent discount? So the first thing I have to do is find the amount of the change. So what was the original price minus that new sale price, and that is $15. Okay, they show us that right there in the book. So the amount of change is $15. What was the original price? The original price always go for what is listed first in the problem. So that original price was $49.99. And we are looking for x over 100, okay? So 49.99, x equals 1,500. Divide each side by 49.99. And that's going to give me a percent discount of 30%. So this item, what was the item we were purchasing? A keyboard, okay? This keyboard was 30% off, okay? All right, pause it, try quick check 3. All right, find the percent discount of $24.95 novel on sale for $14.97. Okay, so of course we said the first thing I have to do is find the change. So $24.95 minus $14.97, and that amount of change is $9.98 over the original amount, which is what is first in the problem. That's $24.95. Okay. So I have 24.95, x equals 998. Divide each side by 24.95. And that's going to give you x equals 40%. Okay, 40% off. All right. Let's see, and that's it. Okay, that's the basics of this lesson. Like I said, your book tries to make it a little more confusing than what it needs to be, so just stick with that formula and you should be fine. So thanks so much. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up.